All right, so it has been about a week since we got off Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas, our very first Royal Caribbean ship. We had an amazing time, but we did want to share some of our thoughts on the things that we liked and the things that we disliked. And so I asked my guys over here, Mikey over here, Warren over here, and I'm Joseph. I asked the guys to create a list of their 5 favorite things and their 5 least favorite things from our sailing. We have not shared anything on our list with each other, so this is gonna be a very free-form discussion. And we're just gonna jump right into it. So I will start first. So the first thing I liked on Symphony of the Seas is the availability of food. I feel like there was so much, what?
That's mine!
Hey, let's go! One brain cell, baby. I feel like there were just so many places to get food. It didn't matter what deck you were on. It didn't matter whether you were in the forward or the aft of the ship. I feel like there was always somewhere to grab food. If you just wanted a snack, if you wanted a full-on meal, there were a lot of places to just grab something and quickly.
The food options were if you're in Central Park, if you're in by the pool deck, literally anywhere, like you'll be able to find food. And it's not just like paid options, there's free options everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of complimentary food options.
Yeah, and like a great thing is they have a place in like the center of the ship where you can just take things to go with you. So it's not even like you have to stay wherever you are. Like you can grab and go and eat on the go as well.
Much anywhere you go, there's a lot of different varieties. The complimentary Mexican, the soft serve, there's the hot dogs.
There's also the rentos. You can just walk in, grab a slice, and be out in 10 seconds. So there's a lot of places to grab food. And that was my first like. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our first dislike on this cruise. So for me, the first thing I disliked is actually the Windjammer buffet. I feel like the Windjammer was either super crowded. It was really small too, so finding tables was always really hard. There weren't really that many options, and there weren't a lot of options that changed every day. Like I feel like the diversity of the food and the actual food itself was kind of eh.
Yeah, they basically just had your standard like American bar grill food. The options weren't great, but food was okay.
I'm not trying to say the buffet was terrible. It was like it had some gems in it, but I feel like overall, I'd rather any other food spot on board than the buffet.
But as a disclaimer, we only did go to dinner at the buffet once,
Fair.
and the dinner is supposed to be the more themed meals at the buffet. But yeah, I agree with pretty much what they said. Buffet was always difficult to find seating. There were a lot of reserved seating. So we were like, oh, there's an open table. And then we go and then it says reserves. We're like, okay.
Yeah, I
well,
didn't even know
now
you
what?
could do that. I understand that the point of the ship is that there's supposed to be food options all over the ship. And so if you can't find something at the Windjammer buffet, you go somewhere else. I get that. Especially because all the other food spots are usually themed. So like maybe I'm not feeling a Loco Fresh's Mexican food. Maybe I'm not feeling a grab-and-go sandwich at Park Cafe. So I don't know. Buffet was a little disappointing to me. All right, Mikey, what's your first dislike?
All right, my first dislike, there was only one party in the Solarium, and that was our best night. But it was generally a more open space. It was just really nice to be outside, and I feel like a lot of people went there, whereas like people didn't really want to go to the nightclub, but when you're just having a party outside, you know, people can vibe on the side. You know, the bar like staff there was great.
It's amazing.
It was amazing. So I wish that there was more parties out in the Solarium. Like that space was definitely underutilized that night.
They had the party in the Solarium specifically for White Night, and that was our most debaucherous night, shall I say. All the footage you're watching right now, by the way, is taken from our cruise vlog, so if you want to see what kind of shenanigans we got up to, watch that. All right, Warren, what's your first dislike?
So it wasn't too big of a deal, but I did notice it throughout the week that the air conditioning level was very inconsistent. For some reason, in the bathrooms, it was always freezing cold. So when you'd go from like the pool into the bathroom, you'd be like shivering while using the bathroom.
Yep.
And then our staterooms were never consistent. Sometimes it would be like a pretty good temperature. Sometimes it was like crazy warm.
Yeah, I definitely woke up kind of hot and like a little sweaty sometimes. I know I would start the night with like maybe a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, but all of that came off like in the middle of the night.
Okay, moving on to our second like. So I'll start. What I really liked about the ship are actually their drinks. So we all got the drink package because you're on vacation. Any of the bars on board can make any drink, but all the bars specialize in specific cocktails that are only advertised at their bars. And they're all very unique. For example, the English pub, Copper and Kettle, they make a really good stout espresso martini, especially an espresso martini, but they put Guinness on top. One of the things that Warren got that I really liked, Schooner's Bar, is a toasted marshmallow old fashioned. And again, all of this is built into your drink pack You have to pay for the drink package, but other than that, it's completely built into your drink package. There's just so many unique cocktails that I would have never have tried anywhere else. So I really like the drink availability. But also with that, just the fact that we didn't really have to wait. The bartending staff everywhere, they saw us and they were like, you guys, what do you want? Instant drinks. So
Yeah, I love all the bars on the ship are great. I think our main bar honestly was the one in On Air with Gibron and Calvin. They're great bartenders.
Yeah.
As you go through the cruise, if you are going to the same bars, like the guys get to know you. So I think for Joseph one time, like one of our main bartenders was just like, here's your drink. Like he just knew what he wanted. Bar service was great. All the drinks were great.
Yeah, adding on to what Joseph was saying about how each bar had their own like signature drink type thing. We were gonna do it anyways, but they gave us more of a reason to bar hop between all the different varieties that the ship offered. So every time we go to a new bar, we really make sure we like get all the specialty drinks within that bar.
And what's even crazy is that Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island, they also have their own specialty drink, but they'll still make that for you on the ship itself. So that's what happened to us. We weren't able to get it on the island for reasons that we'll talk about in the vlog if you subscribe to the channel. But so we went back onto the ship at Schooner's Bar and they were like, yeah, we can make that for you. So great staff, great bars, great drinks all around.
All right, my second like, coming from my dislike, but it's a like, is the Solarium. This year, the Solarium, you know, there definitely was some calm moments, but you know, everyone's getting drinks, the pools are nice, like people having great conversations in the pools and the hot tubs. So I think it was a nice mixed vibe of just having no kids there, being quieter than the main pools, but also like you do get to, you know, talk to people and the vibes are just great in there.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It's beautiful. There's this weird like glass art installation like right over the bar, so it's really pretty.
And it was always a reliable place to get seating for like just laying down and just relaxing.
I will say, this might just be me, I kind of wish the music was actual music. The music they played in the Solarium was just like ambient.
It was like meditative music.
Yeah, it was like
spot
white noise.
music kind
Yeah,
of?
spot
Yeah.
music, which will work for some people, but I wish it was like, I don't know, like lo-fi beats or like some light R&B or something.
Yeah. So my second like were the activities availability and the variety. Pretty much anytime there's like downtime in our schedules, you could easily open up the app, look through anything available, and like anytime you look, you're like, oh, we could go to this in like 5 minutes. That happened to me a few times where everyone else was busy with something else, and I was like, what can I do right now? Oh, let me go to bingo. So I did that. And then we'd be like, oh, let me go to Disney Song Trivia. That's available in like 15 minutes. Let me do that. Anytime you look at the schedule, there's always something close by that you could be like, all right, I had some time to kill. Let me go here.
Yeah, the ship had a crazy amount of activities.
Yep.
If you look in your like daily planner, they had multiple activities every hour.
Yeah.
The start of the hour, in between, and it's for all ages. So it's
Yeah.
not just like adults. There's some for kids. There's some for the teenagers. Literally every age group, they have something for you that hour. So it kind of just spreads everyone across the ship, which is really nice. It was never
Yep.
like too congested in one area, except like the pool, obviously. But yeah, I really like that a lot.
And like it was to the point where we were saying if we were to book this ship again next year for our cruise, we were like, it's not that big a deal. There's so much we didn't experience in the activities that were provided.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to our second dislike. This is a little hyper specific. I really liked the fact that the ship had customizable soda machines. I just didn't like A, the availability of them, and B, the fact that you need this soda cup right here. So how the soda machines work. If you get the drink package, they do give you a soda cup, which is a really cool souvenir that you can bring home. But the only way you access the machine is with this cup because there's a chip on the bottom. And that is what lets the machine know that, hey, this guy has a drink package, he can get soda. The issue with that is that now you need to walk around the ship with the soda cup if you want soda. I kind of wish that like you could just scan in with your card or with your wristband because we have those on us anyway.
I think I only used my soda cup twice the whole trip. And it's because I don't want to lug that around, and having to bring that around all the time was like kind of cumbersome, and
Yeah, for
not everyone in our group's going to do that.
No.
Yeah, and every time we did have the cup, the line to get soda in the actual machines was pretty long. The few times we did remember to bring it to like buffet when we were grabbing drinks, we'd be like, all right, before we go to the pool, we have to go back to our room now to put our cup down because we're not going to bring this to the pool now because we have no other usage for it beyond these freestyle Coke machines.
I think it's a really cool idea to have those machines on board. It's just a little restrictive on how you can access them.
Yeah.
All right, my second dislike, I'm just on a theme right now, Solarium, small pool. The pool was so small. Okay,
Yeah.
I love the Solarium. That pool is so small. You know, it's supposed to be quiet vibes. Everyone's supposed to be chill. No one's gonna be swimming in this pool, but it's one small pool with like a bench in the middle. I wish they had multiple of those in there. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But when we did get a spot in there, it was amazing. It was a great time. But just having one small pool in the adult section was. I wish there was more.
Yeah, I agree. I wish they either had 2 solarium pools or just one bigger one. Pro tip, by the way, the walls of the pool are glass, so people can see what things under the surface are doing. Be smart with how you handle yourself in that pool.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
My second dislike was already covered, but it was the buffet size and options. Desserts, although they were like technically rotating, it did feel like it was the same exact rotations throughout every day. Ice cream, it was just like strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, and then like few cakes and stuff. A lot of times, once you try it once, you're like, that was okay, I don't want to get it again. So the next day you'll see it and you're like, all right, well, I've already tried everything here, so I guess I'm not getting a dessert today.
Okay, let's get back to the positive side of things. Let's talk about our third like. So mine is very general because there's a lot of things I want to talk about with this one. It's the sheer amount of like events and parties that they have. So there's so many theme nights, and honestly, when we were packing for this trip, we were like, how do we pack for all of that? Yes, there's formal nights. Yes, there's like Caribbean floral nights, but they also have red night, 70s night, 80s night, cowboy night. How do you pack for cowboy night? The fact that they have so many things in one night is actually really cool because it lets you choose what you want to do. But also, to go along with that, all the different shows and events. We did 2, but I like to consider 3 different complimentary shows. We did reserve seats for Hairspray, which was great. Love that. We did Hero. I honestly don't know how to describe it. It's like Cirque du Soleil, but water. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Really, really fun. The third one that we didn't think we were going to have a lot of fun with was Crazy Quest. Crazy Quest is like an adults only game show scavenger hunt type thing. We only went in there because we were looking to kill time before the nightclub, and it ended up being one of my favorite things on board. And so just the sheer amount of shows and events and parties that this cruise has is definitely one of my bigger likes.
Yeah, definitely. Like just things to do all the time, and call it corny, but we love doing them. Like it makes your trip that much more fun, especially if you're invested into it. Which for I would say most of the part we were like not everyone had cowboy or 80s or 70s, but the things that you can get your group to do together, like that's what makes a group trip fun.
Yeah, and going back to the complimentary shows, where you weren't able to catch a lot of them. There was a few like on ice shows. There was an ice rink in general. But yeah, there's a few other like complimentary shows that we didn't see. I'm sure there's a lot of other activities similar to Crazy Quest that we don't even know of because we didn't look into. I guess like Crazy Quest was just like a super nice surprise for us because we literally had no expectations going into it and came out amazed and had the best time.
Yeah, they tell you ahead of time that, hey, this is adults only, and I was like, it's a game show. How adult can it get? It got very adult. So make sure you send the kids to bed for that one.
All right, my third like is that, damn, these really go off of each other. But you can drink in the pool. Okay, so they're serving you drinks at the pool. They're asking what drinks you want in the pool, and they bring it to you in the pool, and you can just drink in the pool. So it's really nice. You can keep that buzz going. Really what you want in a vacation to relax and just be able to drink wherever and not be restricted. So I really love that.
But the fact that there are people coming up to you while you're in the pool saying, hey, you're done with that drink, let me take it and let me give you another one. So that way you don't even have to get up out of the pool to go to a bar, just keep it going.
Yeah, and I feel like from what I saw, everyone was very responsible about it.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone spilling their drinks. I didn't see anyone being like too rowdy about it.
All right, Warren, what's your third like?
So this is sort of tied to what Joseph was saying, but I really like the layout of the ship this year. The ship felt like there was always something to do or somewhere to see or somewhere to be. Every deck that you went, there was like somewhere you could just chill or vibe at. The openness of the ship just felt so much more welcoming, and like it really felt like you were in like a floating town, which is essentially what a lot of people describe cruises as. Although this is stated as one of the biggest ships, like in 2018 it was quoted as the biggest ship in the world, it never felt hard to get to from point A to B.
Yeah.
I think is because of the sheer amount of point of interest between point A and B.
There's a big open space, and then everything was available to you on the edges, and you kind of just got to walk through and pick where you wanted to go.
And a lot of the times, as we were walking from point A to B, we would see other activities happening, and we'd poke our head in. But yeah, it was cool seeing a lot of variety of activities going on as we were going from places.
So this is actually my fourth like. So spoiler alert. But no, I agree. I think the layout of the ship was really cool because between the promenade, Central Park, and then like the tops of the deck with the pools, there's like 3 main combined spaces where everything is available to you. That way you don't have to walk too far. If there's something on the other side of the ship that sounds like a long trek, but I promise it's not because you walk through so many cool things anyway. Okay, let's move on to our third dislike. My third dislike, I think, is specific to me. I don't think any of the other guys had this issue, but I had some huge issues with the app. I chose not to get the internet or the Wi-Fi package. I wanted to stay unplugged all week. And so I heavily relied on the app to message and coordinate with the other guys. I don't know if it's just because I'm on Android and the other guys are on iPhone, but I basically had to like reset my internet every time I wanted to see a new message. I never got notifications, and it got to the point where I was afraid to veer away from the guys because I'm like, I don't want to miss an important message.
Yeah, I would say that the app wasn't great. I did experience what you experienced only sometimes, but like maybe a handful.
I would get message notifications from our group chat within the app. I would open it and I'd not see anything. But if I just disconnect and reconnect the Wi-Fi, it worked perfectly fine from there.
All right, my third dislike is, I'm not sure if anyone else has this, but the food made me weirdly over full. And there's one particular day that this happened where I just had one bite of food and I was full for like the rest of the day. And I've never had that before. I mean, I dieted heavily before this.
I was gonna say,
like,
I think that's just their bodies.
my stomach was like rejecting the food.
Yeah, which is a shame because a lot of the food is really, really good. I feel like I couldn't take advantage of all the amazing food on board because I got full so quickly. I don't know if that's necessarily a fault of the ship though. I think, like Mikey said, we were dieting hardcore before this cruise. Maybe our stomachs just shrunk, but I don't know.
Maybe it was just because we were bored of the food.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although like repeated.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
So my third dislike, I didn't like that there was no big external stage or like gathering area beyond the promenade. This year's sail away party, it was external, but it didn't really feel like we were together as one as a cruise. It didn't feel like we were just like all together doing one big party. It just felt like, oh yeah, we're in a general area having a good time.
It didn't draw a huge crowd. It's also because like the pools, there's 3 pools in like a kid area. So like people were hanging out there, but you would have to kind of go in between all of them. And the pools can't really see that area too well to really enjoy the sail away party.
When the ship tried to do a big ship-wide event, it didn't really feel like a ship-wide party. I'm thinking back to 80s night where they tried to throw a big party on the promenade, and it was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it was really fun. But it was basically just like an hour-long performance of watching like the crew members dance. And again, it was really cool, but I kind of wish they like incorporated more of the crowd or like tried to do more things with us as a cruise community. Yeah, I just feel like there were so many more opportunities for cruise-wide events. So we're gonna move on to our fourth like. For me personally, my fourth like is something that was already said earlier, so I'm not gonna talk about it much, but it's the layout. One thing I feel like I wasn't able to talk about when we talked about earlier is the sense of community on the ship. I was afraid that when we booked the ship, I was like, this is the 5th biggest ship in the world, used to be the biggest ship in the world, and I was afraid that we weren't going to be able to find like friends or like strangers that we would see on a repeat basis that we could hang out with. I was very wrong. We ended up making friends with a lot of people. There was a huge sense of community despite how big the ship was. And I think a lot of that is due to, well, I think a lot of it is just due to us being rowdy and wanting to be in the nightclub every night. So we became friends with all the nightclub people. But other than that, I feel like a lot of that is due to the layout of the ship and how easy it was to access certain things.
All right, my fourth like. Bouncer at the club!
Let's go!
Oh, yeah, we needed that.
Yes,
we needed
yeah.
that. We watched the video from our dislikes last year.
For MSC Seashore.
Yeah, for MSC Seashore, there was no bouncer at the club. Little children in there, like from all ages, literally infants to like
Literal
late
children.
teens, late
Yeah.
teens. This time, as soon as we got to the nightclub, we all looked at each other. We were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they even scan you in. So like
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, are you 18? Like they scan you in, they make sure you're 18. So that was awesome. It just kind of made the vibe of the club that much better.
And I understand that we sound like boomers. We're like, these darn kids and blah, 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 blah. I understand. It's the kids' vacation too. If you want to be caught up on the lore of our channel, look at the MSC Seashore vlog from last year to see just how badly our time got messed up because there were so many rowdy kids taking over the adult-only spaces. Warren, what's your fourth like?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say similar stuff that the adult activities / areas were actually age maintained. So we pretty much just covered everything I was gonna say. So that's it.
Okay, let's move on to our fourth dislike. For me, this is something we've already talked about, so I'm not going to talk about it in depth again, but it's the temperature control. The AC was very iffy. I did see on the Facebook group, I don't know how true it is, the AC won't kick in unless your balcony door is locked. I only found that out after the week. I don't know how true that is. If you're about to go on board Symphony of the Seas, make sure you test that out. But we talked about it already, so let's move on.
Kind of touched on this too, but in general, all the pools were pretty small, like main pools and Solarium pool. They were very small. Not too many like chairs around pools. It didn't feel like one big pool where everyone can hang out. Everyone kind of just had their own pools, and
That's actually my same exact dislike that I was gonna say was the pool layout / size. A big part of our, I guess, schedule is going to the pool and just hanging out, vibing. It was a bit harder this year to find a go-to spot besides the Solarium. Like a lot of times we would go to Solarium because there's no other spots available at the main pools. And
Which worked out because we really like the Solarium.
yeah, but it did still feel pretty like claustrophobic to a point where we just had to stay in one section of the pool.
Yeah, and it would be because we were a group of 6 guys and we'd have to share like 3 chairs and stuff like that. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the thing that we liked the most. So I know this is gonna be the true of like basically every cruise ship we're on, but it cannot be understated how amazing the staff was on the ship.
That's exactly what mine
that's
is.
what mine was.
No, the staff was so good. I feel like for this cruise, for Symphony of the Seas, the staff was nice to us because they genuinely wanted to be our friends. It was so much fun. When I signed up for karaoke and they were asking people, oh, who do you guys want to win karaoke? And then one of the bartenders screamed, Joseph! Like, why is a bartender cheering for me? Like, they're just so cool. Every place we went, they gave us the best drinks. They recommended things. We asked for a single cocktail and they put like 3 shots in it for us without us even asking. We became friends with like the Sorrento's pizza lady.
Yeah.
We called her Ate.
Yeah.
Like they're just so friendly, and I thought the staff was just amazing.
Yeah, I think that every single staff for whatever they were doing, they were going above and beyond what they even needed to do. They were like, who needs a drink? Like it was just
they
the
were on
service was just on it. Like they were making sure that everyone had the best time that they could, and that's what I loved.
Anytime we'd see them anywhere in the ship, they'd still give us like that love and affection that like family member would give us essentially.
Yeah, it was amazing how they just remembered us too.
Right. Yeah, and along with our MDR staff giving us like proper like food and like drink recommendations, they would give us like what we need to know for the next day. It was like the day before going to private island, they would like give us like a bunch of like list of tips that were like, okay, since you're going to private island, make sure to go to here.
Make sure you order the secret menu item on Coco Cay.
Yeah, and like a lot of the stuff, they would give us a lot of heads up of our day. And like one of our members, Ryan, had a shrimp allergy, so we had to like swap up one of our menu items that initially was going to be chosen for us. So instead of like giving us a different option, he gave us 2 of that different option.
Yeah.
He gave us double it down. They were like, oh, you guys like this one? Here's another one. Just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, staff is just amazing.
Yeah.
Symphony, keep up the good work. Okay, now let's talk about the thing that we disliked the most. The ship often hosts popular events in spaces that are too small to host it. There are a lot of parties or like trivia events or dance classes where they would have it in a small room, and like, why wouldn't you have it in a bigger room? But for me, what comes to mind the most is karaoke. Karaoke was very clearly like one of the most popular night events across the entire ship, but they have it in a very small bar. If you want to just sit down to support someone, you need to like fight through crowds to watch whoever was singing. I had a great time at karaoke. I'm not trying to flex or anything. I got invited. Thank you to the guys for like supporting me singing at karaoke every single night. But I got invited to the invite-only final night where you compete in like an American Idol style competition.
Talented.
No, I got carried by my gimmicks. I beatboxed every night, and that's why. But if you want to see how that went, check out the cruise vlog where you can see everything in a real POV on the ground style look into what kinds of things you could enjoy on the ship. But anyway, so that was my biggest dislike, is I feel like a lot of the spaces on board could not accommodate how popular they were. Is that true of everything? No, but something like karaoke, I saw so many people peek their head in and then immediately dip because it was too crowded, which is a shame because karaoke is a lot of fun.
Yeah, they had that with like the pool too when they were
Yep.
doing pool activities. Like everyone was trying to crowd around pools, and like we said, the pools are small, so couldn't really have a crowd. It was kind of just limited to the space around the pool, which wasn't very big.
Yeah.
And especially with the nightclub, it was always in such a small enclosed space, and it felt like the dance floor of it was such a small fraction of what it has been in previous years of where our nightclub and nightly ritual would be.
There was one night where they had the night party in Studio B, which is their big like arena style room, and that was like one of the most fun nightclub parties that we've been to.
Right.
And we were asking ourselves like, why don't they just have it here every night?
Yeah.
Like clearly they have the space for it. Why don't we just do it here? All right, Mikey, what's your biggest dislike?
You already know.
Fries.
The fries.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Preface, like I did a bodybuilding show. I didn't eat like crazy. French fries is by far my favorite food, and it's been the highlight of our first cruise. So it's kind of bringing back nostalgia.
Yeah.
Why do they taste so bad?
Yeah.
And we also saw in the Facebook group that people were
Yeah.
saying they taste like some
Like
people
dishwater.
Like dishwater,
Yeah.
but for us it was like, what kind of oil are they using?
Yeah.
It's borderline disgusting sometimes. So I was pretty upset about that. The fries that were good though were at Playmakers, but we had to pay for those.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the Playmakers fries were really good. The Playmakers, by the way, is a sports bar. It is technically a specialty restaurant. You have to pay extra for it. But those fries are really good.
Yeah. Similar to Mikey's, it was just all the MDR food. It was underwhelming for me
Yeah.
as a whole. In the previous 2 years at MSC, every night we'd find at least one dish. We would be like, oh my God, this is so good. We have to order another one. It was very rare to like nearly none that we were just like, oh my God, this is so good. We're just like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they want some. And with the amount of food we got, it was definitely satisfactory.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
serving sizes were huge. But like, don't get me wrong, it was not bad in the slightest bit. It was just not like
Amazing.
absolutely amazing.
I think we're just in awe because people always say, "Oh, MSC's food sucked," and we're like, "This food isn't that bad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone praises Royal on
Yeah.
the food, and we're like, "This is not as good as we expected."
As the hype
Yes.
Yeah.
around it is. I'll push back on that a little bit. I do think the food was not as great as it could have been, 100%. I also think our standards have just been raised. The past 2 years when we've done MSC, those were our first 2 cruises, like as a group. And so everything was amazing to us.
Yeah.
But now that we're in Royal, we're like, we've seen what cruise ships can do. So I
Yeah.
think our standards are higher.
Yeah.
But I do agree, though, that could have been better. We're going to have a quick bonus like and dislike from our boy Tam. All right, Tam, what's the thing that you liked the most about this ship?
I love their pizza. I kid you not.
Fair enough, yeah.
They open from the entire day till 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
which I respect.
Yes.
Yeah, so Sorrento's Pizza is the place to go after the nightclub because it's the only place open. That and Cafe Promenade.
Yeah.
But who wants grab and go sandwiches, right? So
Exactly.
pizza is always going to be the place to go if you're like partying late into the night.
Yeah.
And it always hit.
Yep.
All right, Sam, what's the thing that you dislike the most on this cruise ship?
The goddamn fries, man. They were absolutely trash.
All right, so if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. We just finished our very first Royal Caribbean cruise, but you know it's not going to be our last. We do a new cruise every single year. So if you want to see all the kinds of shenanigans that you can get up to on Symphony of the Seas, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you can see when those videos go up. We also have a ship tour. All of this culminates into the big project that I always try to edit is our cruise vlog, which is where you can see the real types of shenanigans and, let's be honest, debauchery that you can get onto when you get onto the Royal Caribbean ship. I also have videos aboard MSC Meraviglia and the MSC Seashore. Have you been on Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas? Make sure you comment down below. Let us know your true thoughts. What is the thing that you like the most? What is the thing that you dislike the most? I try to make it a point to respond to every single comment that I see. So let us know your thoughts down below. But other than that, I think we're good, boys, yeah? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope the rest of your day is as beautiful as you are. Bye.